Oh, okay. So much that I want to do. But before we start, we need to take a shower because this smell is more overwhelming than all the things that I want to chat about. Hey, I'm feeling much better. Hello, my fellow risers. By the way, had a thought while I was in the shower that I need to write down real quick. Okay. Okay. I definitely want to slow down right now. And I have 11 minutes to talk about what could easily be an hour. But the reason I'm slowing down is because I know that I want to go quickly and make like a video where you know exactly what's happening in the first 6 seconds and you're hooked and blah blah blah. I'm not that guy yet anyway. And the other reason that I want to slow down, I'm going to explain later when we get to my shower thought, which I think is a really important thought about the story that we're telling our future self. Okay, so this video is about what I've noticed. I am going to start over. This video is about what I've noticed as I do more of what I want and how I'm doing more. So it's about my task paralysis, ADHD, and anxiety. And at the something minute mark, maybe written somewhere on this screen, I'm going to talk about science, which is why I initially started recording. Okay, so I had a text exchange with my friend Vic about science and consciousness. This was after something else that was amazing, which was a conversation that I had with my friend Fox. And so we're going to talk about that as well. The conversation that I had with Vic about science, the text conversation, had me, it made me want to make a video correcting how people use the word science. And they kind of misrepresent it as the opposite of what it actually is. So I've really wanted to make that video actually for a long time and specifically talk about the supernatural and this line that drives me really nuts in movies and TV shows where a character says, no, there has to be a logical explanation or there has to be a scientific explanation. So I wanted to make a video about that, and I wanted to make it punchy and attractive, engaging, and enough for our attention spans. Just really get to the point, drive the point home. And so I felt shame that feels a bit like an impossible task to me, or to, let's say, to Francis. And then also Francis was probably concerned or was feeling shame about not having already done it, and about the fact that that feels so difficult, and about his incorrect belief that we won't be doing that. Okay. So now we're going to talk about some recent productivity, because this is a part of my DOD project, dealing with ADHD, anxiety, and depression to be productive. So that's what I mean by dealing with. Trying to be productive, trying to do the things that I want to do. It doesn't have to be productive. We don't have to use the word productive because that connotes like all this like work. But just doing the things, doing the things that I want to do, despite, that could be the acronym, despite ADHD, anxiety, and depression. But those aren't all necessarily enemies. They can be channeled or something. I don't know. I'm not the person who's going to make that point, but I'm sure that those people do have a point, and I will learn more about that. Okie dokie. So we're going to talk about some of the recent stuff that I've achieved, that I've done, and how I talked through some of the anxiety, like today when I was doing a table read of the script that you saw me write on 2 days ago. 1 day ago, kind of 2 days ago. And then we're going to talk about science at the timestamp, which was earlier in the video. Great, excellent. That's already been 7 minutes, bro. No, stop. Remember the shower thought you had, the story that you're telling yourself, how you're going to remember this. I'm spending so much time talking about my anxiety, that I know my future self is going to remember all this productivity as being experiences of anxiety. And it's funny because I don't even like feel my heart racing or anything like that. My anxiety, I don't feel it, but I see it in my thinking or my lack of acting. It's a bit of a ghost anxiety. That's an important note. I've said this in videos in the past, but whenever I've had a panic attack, I don't feel panicked. I do in the sense of my mouth starts to get like really tight. There's tingling in my fingers, and my hands start to like close up like that. But none of the panic is endorsed. Like my thoughts aren't on the same page. Maybe they're racing, I don't know, but no, I don't think so. I'm not going, oh no, there's a big problem. Oh no, what am I gonna do? The only time I had thoughts like that was my very first panic attack because I didn't know what was happening. I was driving, my body, my whole periphery felt like it was shutting down. So then, yeah, absolutely. I was like, what is happening? But then the subsequent maybe let's say 10 panic attacks that I've had in the 18 years since then. Wow. Yeah, I probably only had like 10. I'm just like, oh, 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 oh my god, this is so embarrassing. It's so stupid. Oh, I don't know, man. You know? Um, oh, I wish I had queued up a video that of a panic attack that I had this year. I had to pull over, I had to breathe, but cognitively, I wasn't panicking. So that has something to do with interoception, which is a bit compromised with ADHD. But I definitely don't think of this as a common thing. I have not seen it often or ever described, actually. So if this is something that you can relate to, where you feel like you're like obsessively thinking about a thing, but you don't actually believe that like you need to, or that this is a major threat, or you know, in a similar thing, like your body is like, I feel this like heat and blah blah blah, but also I really feel like I can say that I really believe that like things are going to be fine. I'm a little bit concerned about this thing, but it really maybe it's not so much that I'm concerned, it's just that it keeps pulling my attention. And I'm in, and then sometimes, of course, you can interpret that compelling of your attention as I am concerned about this, and oh man, the mind is fascinating. The stories we tell ourselves, the framing. Can't wait to get to the shower thought. Okay, bro. Let me text my buddy. On Tuesday, today's Tuesday, about 36 hours ago or something, we finished a script. We pushed through concerns that we weren't going to do a good job. No, that's not what the concerns were. Francis's concerns were that we're just going to do a job and then we're going to be evaluated by God, and it's kind of an imaginary evaluator. Anybody who reads it, but whoever reads it represents this much more powerful evaluator, this much more permanent and authoritative evaluator. Each person who reads it is just an instance of the big evaluator. And and it's funny, although I said permanent, the thing is that this big evaluator actually sees me do any given task, produce any product, and they go, okay, this is Eris, and this is his grade on his existence. And then they run away. And so it doesn't matter that I could develop the thing, that it's just one of many things that I make. The way Francis sees it is Francis representing the amygdala, the anxiety. The way Francis sees it is if I fuck up this product, this task, that's going to be what Paul and Peter hear about. That's going to be what gets reported to them. So, and Francis doesn't see that every time we make a product, we are concerned about this guy. So I wish Francis was a little more reasonable and went, oh, so this evaluator is like constantly watching? Oh, so I can fuck up this one and do well on the next one, or fuck up this one and make it good? Oh, okay. But no, Francis isn't that smart. So thanks to you being here, you helping me just stay focused by body doubling. I wrote this 5-page script, and I felt good about it as I was writing it. So that wasn't an example of a time where I'm working on something and I'm just not feeling good about it, and it's making it really hard to just drag myself along. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was dragging myself along. And part of that reason may have been the sleep deprivation. That helps a lot. Today, I went through the script with a friend of mine who's going to play the other role. And we go through the script, and I'm not impressed with it. One thing that helped was that he did give me some reassurances. He didn't say that it was impressive, but he said, kind of, he showed me that he wasn't disappointed in me. He said, no, I don't remember what he said. Damn. We were still doing it. He still wanted us to continue talking about it, to do another read, to shoot it. It was almost like, huh? What are you saying, Eris? What are you worried about right now? Aren't we trying to work on something right now? So that was nice. That helped. But what also helped was what I did before he said that, which is I did a little announcy bouncy. I let Francis speak, express his concerns. He got heard. And whenever alarms feel acknowledged, they quiet down. They've done their job of saying, hey, there's an emergency. The alarm's job isn't to deal with the emergency. This is maybe a good way to think of it. When you're feeling anxious about something, that anxiety, that alarm, the neurons that are doing that, their job isn't to deal with it. That's other neurons' job. Their job is to say, hey, look, tiger. And also ramp up the energy, the sympathetic nervous system, so that you are prepared to fight or flight. I mean, to fight or fly. To fight or flee. And then I guess it's like right there in the name, isn't it? The amygdala isn't choosing what to do. It's saying, okay, we need to do something. Fight, flee, might end up just succumbing to fright. But we need to do something. So pause digestion, get the blood flow into the muscles, and then we'll let another part decide which one we're going to do. Now, if that's not going to be the prefrontal cortex, he's gone offline while we deal with this emergency. And regardless of how true the biology is right now, I think it's a valuable way to think of it as the alarms don't decide what to do. They just, like what alarms freaking do. They just say, hey, problem, be alert, let's go, let's do something. Okay. So when you let those alarms, when you let the alarms sound themselves, and when you hear them, there's this effect of, okay, great. We, the alarms, we've done our jobs, we've been heard. When you suppress it, as I've been talking about, because I read about that this weekend, when you suppress it, the alarms get louder, they feel truer. Okay? It's kind of like if the alarms go off, you check the video surveillance. Oh, there's just a cat. Okay, you shut the alarm off. You stop it. Then the alarm goes off again. Huh? No, it's just a cat. You stop it. Then the alarm goes off again. Wait a minute. There must really be something. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that metaphor, it works. It gets the point across. I'm hesitating because I'm thinking that you might be thinking, well, no, you just keep knowing that it's a cat. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. Remember, we are many pieces. So let's imagine us as 3 pieces in this situation. There's the alarm, something's going on. There's the evaluator, let's call them the checker. The checker looks at the video surveillance, sees there's just a cat. And then there's the worrier. No, let's say the victim. Let's say the victim. So we have the alarm, the checker, and the victim. The alarm goes off. The victim, and they're all in the same house, right? The victim goes, hey, what's going on? The checker goes, oh, hold on, let me go look. I just looked at the feed. It's just a cat. Turns off the alarm. The victim's like, okay. The alarm goes off again. And now this isn't going to be, I'm not describing a rational process, but I hope I'm describing an easy to imagine process or event or whatever, a familiar one. And you try to picture yourself as the victim. This alarm keeps going off. The checker keeps assuring you, oh no, it's just a cat. But don't you have this feeling like, no, this is the 3rd time. And the checker goes, yeah, the cat walked by the sensors a 3rd time. Well, I don't know, man. Just a cat. I don't know, man. I guess Yeah, I guess it would make sense for us to evolve that way, where alarm goes off, checker sees that it's not something to worry about. That should not just completely reassure us, reset us to zero. It shouldn't. Because what if we are wrong about the cat thing, right? What if our intuition, quote unquote, is telling us something that our slower mind, the one that can't take in as much information, that maybe a better evaluator of the information it does take in, but may also miss things because it system two can't process that much, that many different pieces, right? So there's all this, these subtler things, right? Like how right now, you know, the part of me I identify with is this conscious part of me, whatever, isn't really, well, it is right now, but it hasn't been really processing the fan, right? Okay, but there's all these guys working in the background, and some of them are processing the fan, right? Okay. So that checker looks at the video feed, that checker doesn't see everything in the perimeter, right? But the sensors do respond to almost everything in the perimeter, right? They can be fooled, absolutely, by a cat, by a paper bag, by a shadow, maybe, just from a light going out or something. I don't know. But I'm spending so much time on this, bro. And I love it. We're having so much fun thinking through this. Just what if I'm not recording? Oh my gosh. Okay. So it makes sense that with each consecutive alarm, within like a short enough period of time, it makes sense that there's like a tally, that there's a growing unease. Okay, so alarm goes off. Oh no, there's a problem. Okay, the checker, who's just like looking at a couple monitors, a couple cameras, right, sees there's a cat, dismisses it. We better not go down to zero. So we go down to here. Okay, so the victim's like uneasy, but okay, fine, I have an explanation, so I'm not gonna freak out. I've definitely got my point across, but let's just let the rest of it come out, eh? Okay, well, I appreciate that. Is that okay? It's not. All right, fast forward a little bit. Alarm goes off. Okay, there's a problem. Sorry, I had to make sure I was in frame. Okay, there's a problem. Checklist says, no, bro, I just looked. There's a cat. Okay. Anyway, the point was that imagine if the checker, the security guy is the checker, I guess. I'm picturing him in a security uniform. He has headphones on, right? He literally like turns the volume down on the alarms. Okay, now the victim freaking out. Bro, you're not hearing. There are alarms going off. You can't ignore them. We need to, and the alarms who have some intentionality themselves, they're going, oh, I guess I got to get louder because you're not even acknowledging me. So then I know you can't be like checking. When you challenge, I think what it is about, maybe it's about challenging too quickly. So the checker glances really quickly at the monitor. No, it's just a cat. The alarms, the victim system is going, whoa, 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 whoa. You haven't heard us out. I'm saying there's a problem. So that's why what we've learned is that the best way to do it is not to ignore, deny, suppress, not to immediately challenge. Of course, not to immediately just believe and accept. None of those. It's hear the alarm. Let the alarm know it's been heard. Give the alarm its time, its space. Hold space for the alarm. I just kind of want to leave it there because that's so important. And then at another moment, once the alarm feels like it's been heard, okay, let's take a look at the evidence and let's decide how to proceed. We don't find evidence of an actual threat. Let's move forward. Great. Eris, what are you doing right now? Why do you think that you're going to be liked, validated by just rambling about this over and over again, especially when there's all these other videos that really succinctly and with fucking graphics and shit explain this stuff and explains it once? I hear you, man. I hear you, Francis. I hear you, Francis. I'm really having a nice time talking through this. I just imagine someone finding value in like hearing the message a bunch of different ways in different times. So I absolutely hear and respect what you're saying, Francis. And I am thinking about the benefit to me and to somebody. So what we did there was we kind of did a scope shift. We didn't like fully engage with what the alarm was saying. We didn't say, no, you're wrong about that. We didn't play in the same field, kind of played in a nearby field, or instead of saying, no, they will like it or we will get validated, kind of respond to something else. Is this like personally valuable to us in our journey, which is really what it is about? But we didn't say that. We just let that be sort of understood because that's what we were talking about. That hey, we are benefiting from this. Nice. Oh, I'm picturing someone else benefiting. And this is a true thing about humans. Oh, bro, I do not have time to talk about this, but I'm gonna do it because no, should we exercise some self-control? Let's just make it really quick. Had a passenger, I'm driving Uber, I have a passenger, it's a couple. Just picked them up from a wedding. The woman of the couple, it's her birthday, okay? They just attended this wedding on her birthday. The woman is saying over and over again, probably said it, I want to say 50 times, but I feel like it could have even been like 100 times. But okay, probably not. But dozens of times for sure, said, I want to die. I am so shocked I want to die. Why? Because the bride had taken a moment to wish my passenger a happy birthday during her wedding, had even prepared cupcakes. They had already called the Uber, the birthday girl, my passenger. So they left just a few minutes after this celebration of her birthday during this wedding celebration. So the husband wants to reassure her. And of course, I would do the same thing. He just keeps saying, no, they're not going to think less of you for having left. We had already called the Uber. You shouldn't feel bad about the bride taking that moment to do that. That's something that she wanted to do. The passenger, the birthday girl, she kept talking about how, like, why did she even do that? The bride is such a popular person in Chicago. I'm like a eighth tier friend, is what she kept saying. I'm like a seventh or eighth tier friend. I can't believe that, she made such a big deal out of me, made me feel so special. But then on the other hand, she was like, oh man, I had a responsibility to stay at this wedding. And so the husband kept saying, you played your role, Like you said, you're like an eighth tier friend. You made your appearance. And she made a choice to really honor you, which is surprising given that you're an eighth tier friend, according to you. But anyway, what isn't surprising as an eighth tier friend is that you're not there the entire time playing a really central role to the festivities. She and the bride had never hung out one on one. Anyway, so when two humans are talking, and this is something that I wish I had been more cognizant of in my past relationship, I sort of wish. But it would have been better for her if I had been more cognizant of this. When you're just challenging, there's this backfire effect that we've been talking about for the last too long. When a thing doesn't feel heard, it gets louder. And I think breaking into three things, rather than just the speaker and the challenger, the alarm and the checker, having this other element maybe helps. Because we can think of it as the alarm does not give a shit what's true, okay? It says its piece, make sure that it's heard, and then leaves. So when you challenge immediately, though, the alarm's going, okay, I haven't been heard. So if your partner, and let's say no, let's not put a gender, but your partner is very concerned about something. Oh no, problem. And you say, okay, I've evaluated it, actually not a problem. They haven't felt heard. And that is all that matters. Whether or not it's a problem doesn't so much matter. What matters is you need to hear me. I'm saying that it's a problem. Once you accept that, acknowledge that, a different part of them is able to come online and engage, okay, is this a problem? But that part can't come online until the alarm is accepted. Not believed, not endorsed, but allowed. Okay, accepted. Okay, this alarm is real. It's happening. Something triggered it. Okay. All right, great. There, we do have to be careful, and this is my shower thought. Let's just jump to that. And I basically already said it. I have a growing concern that because I keep using the word anxiety, that because I am sort of rightfully putting so much attention on my fears and my concerns while I'm being productive, because, I'm trying to hear them and and understand why I've had so many issues with productivity doing the things that I want, I'm concerned that when I think about this time now, when I think about the last few days, when I think about it in the future, that's going to be the narrative. Wow, yeah, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety. And if that's the narrative, well, I'm going to want to avoid doing the things that I want to do. So we have to be really, really careful. We have to balance that out with celebration, with giving attention and love to how happy we are doing these things. We have to make sure that that appreciation, that pleasure is in the ledger. So that when we think back to today, next week, that we're like, I want to get there again. I want to do that again. So, man, I am so happy that I wrote that script. That's so cool. And we're gonna go shoot his audition tape real quick, and then we're gonna rehearse that script. That's so fun, and we had so much fun doing that. And I'm so glad I rearranged my room. So now, we'll put some stuff on the wall here. And then, of course, when I'm up like this, got some nice stuff. What first got me into the brain, what my mission is now, from word recognition to critical recognition. I have some obsession with recognition. Really, I do. Francis is all about, I gotta be recognized, I gotta be validated to survive. It's funny because recognize, right, is to know, right? Cognize, to know. And if you're not recognized, then you're not like being known, you're not being acknowledged, you're not being included, you're not a part of the group, you're an outsider. So of course, not being recognized feels like a threat to survival, to many systems of the mind. Okay, now that I've thought about, visualized, felt the joy and accomplishment, the joy of the accomplishment of today, doing that table read for a script I wrote, and imagining making it and publishing it. And yes, there's definitely fears associated with it. What if I can't make it look like what I'm imagining, what I think it's supposed to look like? I hear you, man. But can I just spend a little more time? So exciting making things. Love it. So we go through the script. Yes, this is going to be your time now, Francis. I'm going to tell them all about the alarms that were sounded. So we're going through the script. And yeah, I'm not blown away by it. Oh no. And I did a little bouncy bouncy. I bounced the mic over to Francis and I let him say to my friend Fox what his concerns are. Oh no, I'm not blown away by this. I'm never going to get a big award for my writing. All the problems with that aside, let's let Francis say what he has to say. Let's let this amygdala say its piece. It'll tire itself out, or it'll feel satisfied if we hear it. Okay. So productivity. Wrote a script. Rearranged my room. Oh, I wanted to show you that actually. So from this corner up here.
Okay, so I hadn't added my microphone to this recording. So, all right, so I'm explaining my room to you. Oh, maybe I'm giving you a recommendation now about keeping the areas separate, the office and the bedroom. I like that I have different lights over the bed, like red and purple and stuff. Yeah, so then here's the bedroom. Anyway, so I've got my Peloton over here and my bed and then a big old TV. To the far left of the screen, you see the mirror. And on that mirror is a like black thing sticking off of it. That's another mirror. I've always wanted to be able to like listen to the TV without looking at all that blue light. Okay, right now I'm calling my buddy because I need to ask for more time, so I'm going to check in with him. So this way I can be facing away from the TV. The big mirror is not reflecting the TV to where the pillows are, but the little mirror is. And so I can see like a small image of what's happening on the TV and enough to make out what's happening and then just kind of be listening to it as I go to sleep.
So we do the table read. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you, we had a pretty amazing conversation. The point I'll just say now is I was just recording off my phone. We didn't have microphones. It was windy. So I was experiencing some discomfort because I know that there are things that can be made from that audio. I wish we were on camera, had microphones. It was all about like our nature versus our, no, let's not say archetypes, our nature versus our what's the word for like the way, the final form, the destiny, the no, the way that you're supposed to be. It was kind of a converse. There were a lot of different themes that were intersecting really beautifully, but I would say that the main thing was our nature versus our improvement, our reality versus our transcendence, our origins versus our description versus our prescription, positive v normative, our position versus our destination. And it was a conversation about how important and significant the latter feels, the destination, the normative, what should be, what we're supposed to be. That feels so real and significant. Like we have to become that thing. You know, we spend so much time thinking about that thing, trying to embody that thing. Like I don't know what kind of people I'm describing, but it's basically the kind of people that aren't a kind of people. And it's kind of everybody. It's not, but it definitely feels like that because everybody, or so many people, God, we all just like talk the same way, say the same thing. Oh my God, no, that's totally fine. Yes, absolutely. I love that. No, I can't believe he did that. I would never. That is bad. That does not match the ideals, our ideals. None of the stuff that I just like portrayed kind of came from the speaker. It's like every time someone talks to me like that and it's like really over the top, or not even over the top, they're just talking to me like that. I they're just reading off the script. You're supposed to be fine with everything. You're supposed to love everything. You're supposed to be smiling all the time. You're supposed to be accommodating, right? Oh my God. No, that would never bother me. Like, be fucking real, bro. We get annoyed by shit that we shouldn't be annoyed by. And it's so important to like just be okay with that and acknowledge that. And this kind of relates to the whole suppressing, backfiring thing we've been talking about. Oh, and it was just so cool to connect with Fox on this. Yeah, so I hate when people aren't being people. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It feels like there are about 10 things you're allowed to say during the day, and that's what's said. And about, two or three things you're allowed to feel. You can feel outraged if there's a violation of one of the norms. Otherwise, all your behavior, all your speech is about just doing the norms, which is, being accommodating again, except for when there's been a norm violation. And this isn't surprising to me. It is. There's a part of me that's like, right, yeah, of course. We evolved to basically do this. Hey, I'm a good tribe member. I know the norms. I abide the norms. I uphold the norms. But we didn't evolve to actually like do that all the time. We evolved to do that when our membership might be in jeopardy. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, I'm a good tribe member. I talk like you guys. I believe what you guys believe. I act as you guys, as we all believe that we should act. Then you're supposed to have some comfort there, some security. And so this is where we really diverge from our evolution, is that it is so rare that membership isn't in jeopardy. Because either you're kind of always being in an evaluation stage because you're talking to people that you don't have a strong bond with. Oh, and that's another thing, acting like we have a strong bond, acting like we're totally comfortable with each other. And I believed it for so much of my life only to discover, oh, I was being evaluated. And also they weren't telling me that the evaluation was not going well because they had to act like, oh yeah, we're best buds. And then all of a sudden they're not responding to me anymore. And wait, what did they say about me? I'm sorry. Did not expect to all this to think about this. Even though it's very related to what we were talking about. But anyway, so now I'm just feeling all this frustration. And that's okay. That's okay. That's totally cool, bro. No, but really, that's okay. I'm mad at you guys. I'm mad, and I'm mad at myself because I have to do it too. I don't do it as well as you guys do, so there's a little more authenticity. But my God, and it's so exhausting pretending like you're fine with everyone and love everyone, and that someone makes a joke and you have to, you're not allowed to go, wait, what? Unless that's like a status move that you're doing. Oh wait, I think we're kind of turning on this guy, right? Wait, what, bro? Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm one of, yeah, I'm with you guys. Ah, oh, what did that even mean? hmm No, no, I'm really loving and accepting. We're also really loving. No, you're absolutely fine. It's just like, but no, 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 no. But no, it's not. It's not. No, yeah. Give me a flipping second, bro. You can't be confused about anything. Again, unless it's like, what? Like, that's not something that we are all familiar with, that topic that she's talking about, right? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, yeah, okay. We're okay to be confused. But honestly, we should be confused kind of all the time because we're meeting all these people that we don't know who have ideas that we haven't maybe spent a lot of time with. Oh my gosh, what? I'm sorry, that sounds so wrong to me. I'm not saying that it is wrong. Tell me more, bro. Oh my, but instead it's, oh my God, I just love hearing other perspectives. Yes, yes, I absolutely get that. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, hold on. You love hearing new perspectives. So this is a new perspective, right? Why didn't I see you processing it? Why do you keep like why are you like nodding the entire time that the person is sharing this new perspective? Where's the this face? Where's the hold up? What? I don't see how those two what? Yes, no, yeah, right. That no, oh my gosh, that is so interesting. I've never heard that before. But no, no, absolutely. You've said it. You've said about 7 words about it, and I'm there with you. Same page. Me too. So what were we? Oh my gosh! I asked for more time. We only have 8 minutes to do the science thing. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, so we had this really interesting conversation. There's so much that I would want to do with that conversation, so I'm already feeling overwhelmed by this, discrepancy between what I'm picturing is actually going to happen with the conversation. It's going to sit on my hard drive, and what could happen with the conversation, and which is also, by the way, blown way out of proportion. And nothing in between is satisfying, and so that hurts. And then I get this message. So, all right, oh my God, 7 minutes. Well,